Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Tether. I'm sure you've heard at least 2 or 3 of these mentioned when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But do you know how they started or what problems they were designed to solve? Which is the most valuable? And how do you value them? At the end of this section, you'll be able to compare the different reserve currencies and differentiate value and usefulness of these reserve currencies. So in this section, we're going to talk about the different crypto reserve assets. But first, let's give a background on what exactly is a reserve asset. Now, when you think of reserve currencies, the first thing that comes to mind is the US dollar. And since World War II, the dollar has been the reserve currency. It's widely held by other central banks. It's also very liquid. It has the deepest financial markets. And lastly, the dollar is considered a safe haven. If there's any exogenous shocks around the world, other countries and governments buy the US dollar as protection. And what's interesting to note about the dollar as the global reserve is that the US economy was the largest economy in the 19th century, but it wasn't until World War II that the dollar replaced the English pound as being the global reserve. So these are some important context to put things in before we start talking about the different crypto assets in the space. Now, here's a chart of the total market cap of every single large crypto asset. And you'll notice that Bitcoin was the only game in town for years. In fact, it wasn't until January of 2017 that Bitcoin's market share, which was over 80%, really started to fall. In 2017, you saw the rise of Ethereum and Litecoin. And then in August of 2017, the Bitcoin blockchain forked and you had Bitcoin Cash come around. You've also seen a rally in other coins, different altcoins. I showed you in an early lesson that there's now 1,500 cryptocurrencies, so they fall in this category of altcoins. So it's important to keep this in mind, the different assets and what % they make up the total system when you're thinking about what exactly you want to invest in. Now that you understand what a reserve currency is, let's move on and talk about the crypto reserves. Now you've seen that a reserve currency is something that's both widely held and freely traded on multiple exchanges, and also offers more liquidity than other ones. And so that's why I've named this category the crypto reserves. They're Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tether, and Bitcoin Cash.